Hello everyone, so today let us talk about your annual exam biology paper. So the first question was fill up the blanks. A group of organisms of the same species make up a population. Okay, so it will be population. A population is always of the same species. Excess of glucose in the urine means which disorder? Yes, it is diabetes. Apart from antihistamines, dash can be used to prevent allergy. The thing which you used to prevent allergies along with antihistamines are steroids. So at times steroids are given to prevent allergy. Chemoautotrophic nutrition is shown by some blue-green algae or some bacteria. These are the ones that show chemoautotrophic nutrition. So that should have been the answer. Each muscle tissue has dash fibers. So it is actually myofibrils, but even if you wrote elongated fibers, then also it is correct. Now let us talk about state true or false and correct the false statements. Body's defense system produces antibiotics. False. It produces antibodies. So that is why you need to read the question very carefully. Hemp and flax are collenchyma fibers. No. False again. They are sclerenchyma fibers. Catabolic processes mean building up process. Wrong. Anabolic processes mean building up process. Lungs are a part of excretory system in humans. Wrong. Lungs are not a part of excretory system. They serve as excretory organs at times when they are responsible for releasing the carbon dioxide, which is waste from our body, but they are not a part of excretory system. In humans. Kidneys are a part of excretory system in our bodies. Last one, genes are also responsible for development of an allergy. True, this statement is true. Now name the following. Chemical needed to test the presence of starch, iodine. The two conducting tissues of plants, xylem and phloem. The energy currency of the cell, it is ATP, adenosine triphosphate. That is the energy currency because the energy is stored in the form of ATP. The two phases of aerobic respiration, they are glycolysis and Krebs cycle. So that is what you were supposed to write. These are the two phases of aerobic respiration. The most dangerous of all allergies, it is anaphylactic shock. So you get the spelling correct only when you are pronouncing it correctly. So it will be anaphylactic shock. So that is how the spelling goes. Now define allergen. Now many of you defined allergy over here. See, what you were asked to define was allergen. The substances, all you had to write were the substances that cause allergy are called as allergens. Simple as that. Micturition. Now many of you thought that as micronutrients. I do not know. You kept on writing as micronutrients are substances. These are substances which are required by our body, by the plant in minor quantities. No, read the word carefully. It is micturition. The act or the process of expelling urine from the body is called as urination or micturition. That is the thing. Dialysis. Now many of you wrote, I have been repeating it again and again and again. Dialysis is not a machine. A machine uses the dialysis process. So dialysis is a process which is used to remove the wastes from the blood artificially. That is what the process of dialysis means. So you should have been very careful. Now same with respiration. Many of you wrote taking in of oxygen and giving out of carbon dioxide is respiration. No, that is breathing. Respiration is different from breathing. Respiration is the complete breakdown of glucose, that to give us carbon dioxide and release energy. That is the definition of respiration. Anatomy, it is the study of the internal structure of organisms. That is called as anatomy. Now let us talk about the location and function of the following. Where are these found and what is their function? So nephron, they are found in kidneys, or you could have written they are a part of the excretory system. Then what is their function? Their function is they are the basic functional units of excretory system, or they help to remove the waste from the blood. That is all you needed to write. Then guard cells. Where are guard cells found? Guard cells are found in leaves. Simply you could have written upper surface, lower surface, not needed, or you could have written they are found around stomata. So what are the function? They help in opening or closing of stomata. Now adipose tissue. Where is adipose tissue found? Adipose tissue is found in various regions of your body. You could have written any of those areas. Even if you wrote underneath the skin, it is okay. Then what is the function? It is the padding tissue. It serves as a padding material. So that is adipose tissue. Cambium. Now cambium is found in the vascular tissue, or you can say that it is found in the vascular bundle, or it is also found in the epidermal region, where it is responsible for forming the cork. So cambium is responsible for the growth in the width of the plant. So the plant grows thicker with the cells of cambium dividing rapidly. Epidermis location, it is the outermost covering of all the plants. What is the function? It is protective in function. It protects the plants from any external injuries. Now differentiate between the following, 1 point only. Parenchyma, sclerenchyma. Parenchyma is living tissue, sclerenchyma is dead tissue. Seasonal and perennial allergy. Seasonal allergy, allergies that happen at any particular time of year. Perennial allergy, it can happen, it can occur to a person at any time of the year. Respiration and photosynthesis. One is, respiration is catabolic process, photosynthesis is anabolic process. Or you could have said respiration has carbon dioxide as the byproduct, photosynthesis has oxygen as the byproduct. Those are the simplest things that you needed to write. Then ureter and urethra. Now ureter are the tubes that take the urine to the urinary bladder, and urethra is the opening through which the urine is expelled out of the body. Striated and unstriated muscle. Striated muscles are voluntary muscles, unstriated muscles are involuntary muscles. Striated muscles, they are so called because they have alternate dark and light bands. Unstriated muscles do not have any bands as such. Even if you wrote the difference related to the nuclei, it is perfectly okay. Now here many of you committed errors in match the column. Piliferous layer, it is found only in roots. Stomata is found only in leaves. Latex is a part of an excretory product of plants. So latex will be matched with excretion. Cork. Cork, where is cork found? Cork is found on the outermost covering of tree trunks. So that serves as a protection. So glycolysis happens in cytoplasm. This last part, mitochondria, was just an extra option to confuse you and see as to how clear your concepts are. Okay. Now why is blood called as fluid connective tissue? First and foremost, you need to first mention why is it called fluid and why is it called connective. Connective tissue because it connects all the parts of the body. Fluid because the major part of the blood is fluid. So that is why it is called as the fluid connective tissue. Name the three components of blood. Now the three components of blood are RBC, WBC and platelets, not plasma. Plasma is the medium in which the blood components are lying. When we talk about blood components, we are talking about the solid components that are there. So the three components of blood are WBC, RBC and platelets. What is lymph? Give any two functions of lymph. So lymph is derived from the blood itself. It is made up of plasma and WBC. Right? So it is the fluid which is found between the tissues. Either of these things you could have written. Give two functions of lymph. Two functions are first and foremost, it helps in fighting the germs because it has WBCs. And the second function, it also helps to transport material from one part of the body to another. They also help in transportation. They are also connective tissues. Name any two food allergens. You could have given any two food allergens. Most of you got this right. So food or some cat, some animals or some dust or things like that. Most of you got this right. Give any two symptoms of food allergy. So what are the symptoms that you face when someone is suffering from food allergy? There is swelling in the mouth, there is swelling in the lips and in the tongues, and there is a tingling sensation in the mouth. Those are the symptoms of food allergies. Yes, someone wrote that there is vomiting as well. Yes, in food allergies, in some food allergies, there is also a possibility of vomiting tendency or nausea. What are lenticels? How are they different from stomata? Lenticels are small openings on the stem. How are they different from stomata? You could have written they are found on stem, whereas stomata are found on leaves. Or you could have written lenticels are open the entire day, whereas stomata open only during daytime, during the process of photosynthesis. Okay. Now name the components of the renal excretory system. Renal excretory system has a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, a urinary bladder and urethra. Those four are the components of the renal excretory system. That is all you needed to write. Many of you wrote renal artery, renal vein. No, they are not part of renal excretory system. Renal artery and renal vein are part of circulatory system. They are arteries and veins. All the arteries and veins, they belong to the circulatory system. What is the function of the urinary bladder? Urinary bladder temporarily stores the urine before it is expelled out of the body. That is the function of urinary bladder. Write briefly about any two common disorders of the urinary system. Now, many of you wrote that excess of glucose in urine. No, that is not a disorder of the urinary system. It is the excretory system has nothing to do with excess of glucose in your blood. But yes, uremia, excess of urea in the blood, that is a disorder of urinary system. Edema, where there is swelling in body tissues, that is a disorder of urinary system. Kidney stones, they are disorders of urinary system. UTI, urinary tract infection, that is a disorder of urinary system, not diabetes. Many of you wrote diabetes. Some of you wrote there is blood in the urine. They are not disorders of the urinary system. There are other factors which are related. These are symptoms which are exhibited in the urine, but it is not at all related to the organs which are associated with the urinary system. Okay. Mention any two symptoms of dust allergy. Most of you got it right. So there is itching, or there is sneezing, or there is breathlessness. It's perfectly fine. Any of those two you could have mentioned. Mention 3 ways to prevent dust allergy. So if you want to prevent dust allergy, then you need to reduce the use of carpets, use wooden flooring, then keep the house well ventilated, and cover your face with a mask, cover your nose and mouth with a mask if you are going out, or if you are in a dusty area, avoid going to dusty areas. All those things, any of these things you could have said. Mention the 3 steps in urine formation. Now the 3 steps that were needed over here were ultrafiltration, selective reabsorption, and tubular secretion. Those are the steps that you needed to mention. Many of you did not do that. You gave in the process of urine formation, but you forgot to mention the steps. So all you needed to do was mention these 3 steps. In which step is the filtrate formed? First step, ultrafiltration. In ultrafiltration, the filtrate is formed. What are diuretic substances? Many of you gave examples. Tea and coffee are diuretic substances. I did not say, the question does not say give examples of diuretic substances. It says what are diuretic substances. So diuretic substances are substances that help to increase the volume of urine, which help in the urine production, increasing the urine production. Those substances are called as diuretic substances, and yes, their examples are tea and coffee. Now look at the figure given below and answer the question. Now you see over here, if you look very closely, let me expand it a bit and bring it to you so that you can see it clearly. You see over here, you can see that there are cells which do not have any nucleus over here, and then a very closely attached cell that has a nucleus. This should have been the giveaway that this is a sieve tube and this is a companion cell. Nowhere else does this type of an arrangement occur in the plant tissue. So this is the sieve tube, this is the companion cell, and yes, they are found in phloem. So it should have been easy for you to identify the tissue. This is phloem tissue. So this is the sieve tube, this is the companion cell, then this one is the sieve tube, this is 3 is the companion cell, 2 is phloem parenchyma, and 4 is phloem sclerenchyma or phloem fiber. So this is how you should have named them. Label the parts, give the location and function of this tissue. This tissue is found any place you could have written. In these tissues are found in the leaves or in the vascular bundles or in plants. Function of this tissue is to conduct food from the leaves to the other parts of the plant. Now let us move on to this part. Identify the figure, and this is a part of a nephron. We talked in great details when we were talking about the functioning of the kidneys, how urine is formed. So this is, all you had to do was label, this is a nephron you could have written, or you, even those who wrote this is a Bowman's capsule, I have given them marks. So if you have written even glomerulus, I have given you marks because there are a lot of things over here. So either of those I have given you marks. Label the parts C and D. So C is the glomerulus and D is the Bowman's capsule. So this is how you are supposed to label them. Which step of urine formation occurs here? First step, the ultrafiltration. The first step in the urine formation happens over here, which is ultrafiltration. Give the location and function of the structure in the diagram. So where is it located? It is located in the kidneys. What is its function? Its function is filtration of blood. So those were the questions over there, and in addition to that, you had 2 diagrams which you needed to draw. One was a longitudinal section of kidneys. So I saw that many of you drew the excretory system. So excretory system you did not have to draw. Check in your textbook. Longitudinal section of kidney is where you show the cortex and the medulla and the ureter. Those are the only 3 parts you needed to label, and that was that. Then the columnar tissue, many of you drew squamous tissue, cuboidal tissue, any type of tissue, but not columnar tissue. As the name itself suggests, those who have drawn even like simple columns, cells which look like straight columns or rods, I have given them marks because that is what you are supposed to understand from the columnar tissue. Okay, then I hope that your biology doubts are cleared and you would be able to understand as to where you lost your marks. When you get your marks, you will be able to know for sure. Thank you so much.